Hello, everybody, and welcome into this latest edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter for Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aidan Champion. And we're nearly, well, I shouldn't say that. I want to keep saying we're close to football season, but got a little ways to go. I mean, really, it starts next month. That's when training camp begins or fall camp, but still feels like we're a little ways away from it. But it will be here before you know it. And this is this is going to be a very interesting season for Michigan State. One, because pressure's on. You got to make a bowl game. We've talked about it. That is the bar that's being set. You'd like to go beyond that, but it's just not the realistic situation or the realistic standard that Michigan State is facing right now. Hasn't made a bowl game since 2021, and you gotta get back to it, or else then you gotta start making some tough decisions. Um, but I think they will. I think they will make a bowl game. You've got a not a easy schedule by any means, but not as hard of a schedule as last year. You're not playing Ohio State. You're not playing Oregon. I like um the early season game against Boston College. I like that they're going to get a chance to avenge themselves on their home turf. I like the fact that they're at home the first 3 weeks of this season. There's opportunities to set yourself up in a good position. I like that they're finally going to be playing USC and UCLA. Those are going to be fun. There's a whole lot to look forward to. But when you look at this team, there's a lot of questions. They didn't get drastically better in certain areas. They did get better in some areas, just not drastically, not anything that really jumps out to you. And I think the closest that you come to that is with the wide receiver room. And that's where I want to take this episode. That is what I think this team's greatest strength is going into next season is the wide out room. I think you've got a really talented group here, and I think it's going to be one of the best in the Big Ten. I, you've got Nick Marsh, who can easily be one of the best wide receivers in the Big Ten this season. And then around him, you've got some great transfers from smaller schools, but still really talented players. Krishan McCray, Omari Kelly, Rodney Bullard, all those guys were first team all conference at their former schools. Krishan 2 years ago, but then was second team last year. And there's a lot of promise with this group. And I think the biggest thing about this, and we've talked about all this, but we're getting closer. And I think it's time to really get excited if you're a fan of Michigan State, because you've got so much potential with Aiden Childs, and you're going to see a more mature Aiden Childs, one who has a full year of starting experience under his belt. He's back at Michigan State. He's got a year at Michigan State under his belt, a year in the Big Ten under his belt, playing against some of the best teams in the country. I mean, Oregon won the conference, Ohio State won the national championship, and Indiana made the playoff. You've got some really great experience there. So Aiden's going to be better. I'm fully anticipating that. The coaching staff has worked with him, and now he's got all these weapons around him. the aforementioned wide receiver room, and Jack Velling, another guy who's expected to take, the next step, which when you're talking about taking the next step, usually you're talking about a younger guy, but this is a veteran. This is a guy going into his last year, and he still hasn't hit his ceiling. He's got one more chance to do it, and I think he will. I think the staff is gonna make sure that you're creating opportunities where he's open. And I think there will be opportunities considering the wide receiver core and how many bodies that defenses are going to have to account for. And there's already a well-established connection between Aiden and Jack. I think that is only you're going to see the best of that um, come into full form this coming season. And again, between that and just the wide receiver room, and then depending on how much they utilize the backs in terms of the pass game, which I think they will. That's something, they want to be able to throw to their running backs. I think they'll do that more. So there's all sorts of opportunity for Aiden to really excel this season. And it is exciting because, you know, frankly, the rest of the country is really overlooking him. And maybe rightfully so because just because of the season he had last year. But remember, he got better as the season went along. A lot of people point to his interception total. That got better down the stretch. Um, that was something he improved on was ball security. We'll see if he cleans up, the fumbles. That's something that just comes with scrambling. Um, and then that's a result of just unawareness. And I think he's going to have more awareness in scrambling in the pocket this season. These are all things that the staff has worked on with him and will continue to. So you've got a formula here of a better Aiden Childs, a Jack Velling who has the potential to have a career season. You've got a Nick Marsh who was one of the best freshman wide receivers in the country last year. Who's got the potential to be one of the top wide receivers in the Big Ten. I think that's the bare minimum. I mean, he's got the potential really to be one of the best receivers in the country. That may come in the next 2 years or so. But you've got that. You've got the transfers. And you've got Courtney Hawkins, a guy who has sent several guys to the league. You've got the makings of a really solid offense. And I've said before, I think the offensive line is going to be better. I like who they brought in. I like Connor Moore a lot. That was a big land for Michigan State. So if, if this offense lives up to what's expected of it when looking at it on paper, could be really good. It really could be. Just got to be consistent. That was something, it had moments um of a great offense last year, but just wasn't consistent. I think there wasn't enough maturity in terms of experience. You're gonna have that now. The guys they brought in, Kelly, Bullard, McCray, they're all experienced. They're all vets. So could end up being a really good Michigan State offense this season. Let me know what you guys think. Is this Michigan State's greatest strength? I know it's not saying much, considering one, we don't really know a whole lot about, where they're going to improve. beyond what, you know, the roster says. And two, I mean, you're coming off a 5-7 season, and the bar is set pretty low, um, but I would love to know what you guys are thinking, and um, please continue to keep up with our podcast. Keep reading our content, which we are putting out daily on Michigan State Spartans on SI. Appreciate you guys always tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your week. We're almost to the weekend. Um, and we will catch you next time. Thank you, everyone.